Something is Killing the Children is about as manly as a...
Something is Killing the Children, published by Boom Studios, written by James Tinian, illustrated by Dell'edera, colors by Miguel Muerto, and lettering by And World Designs. Something is Killing the Children is the story of a monster slaughtering the children of the tiny town of Archer's Peak, Wisconsin. The effects those killings have on the community, and the mysterious stranger who arrives in town shortly thereafter to eliminate the threat. The stranger in question is Erica Slaughter. And while so many comics with female leads are embarrassingly non-congruent with masculinity, Something is Killing the Children has enough male secondary characters that it may be able to hurdle that misinterest gap wherein so many female-led comics crash and burn. Is it good? Nobody can decide that for you but you. But is it manly? Let's get into it. Alongside Erica Slaughter, Something is Killing the Children follows three male characters to whom we may look for masculine role modeling. Joseph Kavanaugh, sheriff of the small community of Archer's Peak. Tommy, a teenage or early 20-something young man whose little sister had recently vanished. And James, the young teenage boy who had to stand by and watch as his friends were ripped apart before his very eyes. Each of these guys has their strong attributes. Sheriff Kavanaugh's strongest attribute is his spectacular last name. Fucking epic. Get it, brother. On a lesser note, Kavanaugh remains even-handed and open-minded, even under the incredible stress of the town's children being mysteriously slaughtered on his watch. This could wear him to the bone, turning him into an unreasonable tyrant and causing him to lock the town down, stepping beyond the bounds of his authority to get the results he desires. But Kavanaugh remains fair, if not exactly stoic, in his search for answers. Tommy understands that both his mother and his father are each hanging on by a thread after his sister goes missing. So he becomes the rock his mother needs, while his father drinks himself into oblivion. Fellas, using alcohol to mask your feelings? Not manly. Get help, your family needs you, guy. With this understanding, Tommy works to bring home a paycheck and places missing child flyers on the cars in the parking lot every day at his mother's request. He doesn't think it'll serve a purpose, but it costs him almost nothing, and it makes her feel like something is getting done to find her daughter. A young man like Tommy, after facing the tragedy of losing a younger sibling, could easily succumb to nihilism, dye his hair black, put a streak of red in it, and let it grow over his eyes, constantly sweeping it out of his face when he looks someone in the eye and calls them a fucking poser. But Tommy doesn't. He keeps on keeping on, knowing the effort alone will keep his life moving forward, while the rest of his support group is spiraling into a deep existential depression. And finally, there's James. A young teenager could choose to keep his head down in hopes that the adults will fix everything. Whether we want to admit it or not, as a teen, and sometimes as an adult, somewhere deep inside, a part of us just wants mom and dad to take care of the things that feel too heavy for us to carry. James chooses to carry the burden. He insists on helping Erica find his missing friend, and perhaps face the monster once more. That willingness to take a serious responsibility and trudge forward with it, knowing nobody would blame you if you just passed it off on the adults, is an eminently masculine quality. Three male characters and three entirely different masculine traits would yield 3 points, but I instituted a 1-point deduction because Tommy chooses to needlessly assault a cop rather than just move forward with his mission. I don't want anybody to get the idea that unnecessary violence is at all masculine. It is not. Masculine role modeling. 2 out of 3. Our three fellas all make things happen in their own way. While Erica is the protagonist, she doesn't just pull the boys along as she handles everything. She's from a world outside their own sleepy little town. She knows what they're truly up against, but she still treats James with a protective respect when he insists on helping her track the monsters. And Tommy, while he's an intellectually underdeveloped idiot, and he pistol whips a cop for no reason, he also shows bravery in the face of fear. Once he gets it into his head that Erica is responsible for the missing children, again, because he's a fucking idiot, and he doesn't see Sheriff Kavanaugh stopping her, he sets out to stop her himself. Of course, he's stupid, impulsive, and wrong about everything, exactly as us old guys expect a 20-year-old kid to be, but he perceives a clear and present danger and attempts to neutralize it when no one else will. Finally, Sheriff Kavanaugh takes the most deceptively masculine step of them all. When he's at his wit's end, when he's tried everything in his power and failed, he asks for help. Realizing the situation is way outside of his expertise, Sheriff Kavanaugh gives Erica the information she needs in hopes that she can pick up the slack where he is helpless. She doesn't want his help, and he doesn't know how to help. So he sits back, and he lets her do things her way. Let's all take a moment to appreciate this, fellas. When you aren't the guy for the job, the most masculine option is to pass the job off to the one who is right for the job, and either stay out of the way or make yourself available in case they need help from an extra body. But realize at that point that you are strictly an extra body, and be ready to take instruction and execute with precision and enthusiasm. Get the job done. And even if you can't be number one, be the number one, number two. Even though Tommy's a dumbass, all of our boys are taking control of their own fate in the best way they know how. 3 out of 3. Which actions does the book punish? Which ones does it reward? Almost none of them on any account. While there is a small reward at the end of the story when a single child is saved from the monster's lair, it is not really the result of any of the actions of any of our boys. It is not the result of any value judgment conveyed in the story. Basically, what leads to the rescue is that Erica is some kind of untouchable monster hunter who was never really in any danger to begin with. While it could be argued that if Sheriff Kavanaugh's assisting Erica and telling her the name and location of the first child to have disappeared led to the recovery of the single saved child, I would personally argue that Erica could have gotten that information from an old town newspaper and the county property assessment records. I would also argue that if Erica wasn't an untouchable badass, nothing would have saved that child. Each and every one of our boys present at the time of showdown was essentially a burden on her effort to exterminate the monstrous threat. If Erica, the monster, and the dead children were the only characters in the entire book, she still would have accomplished her goal. Long story short, the values placed on the narrative are essentially, be an unstoppable monster killer, and you will not be stopped in your mission to kill the monsters. Which isn't really that helpful. For narrative values, 1 out of 3. The final word. 3 masculine characters, each in a different phase of his life, each doing his best in the face of an unthinkable series of tragedies. Not too bad. None of those guys affecting the result of the story at all because there's a badass chick to swoop into town and fix everything? Not so good. Something is Killing the Children is about as manly as a black and yellow AS 40-volt battery-powered chainsaw with a 12-inch bar. It ain't the Husqvarna 450 Rancher with the 20-inch bar, but apparently it's enough to cut the limbs off of whatever happens to be killing the children. And that's somewhat manly. It's not the self-sacrificing, monster-mutilating maximum manhood we seek, but with a completely average score of 6, it is the definition of a medium man. If you're still watching and just want somebody to tell you if it's good, that's not very manly. Be more man. That being said, I do have a review link right here for you. If you check it out, please leave a comment telling them Steven at No Borders Comics sent you. The view and the comment help them, the exposure helps me, and the review will help you. Everybody wins. Maximum man. Also, please like, share with a friend if you did like it, and subscribe if you want more videos like it. And leave a comment in the comments section if there's a book that you'd like me to put up against the man meter. Worst case scenario, you find out it isn't so manly, maybe you move a different direction. Or, it gives you some fodder to talk some shit to me in the comments section, which is always fun too.
I'll be with you on your wedding night. With you on your wedding